FM and across the world at 3news.com. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Deep cracks emerging within committee investigating leaked RGP audio widening. As chair of the committee, Atachia is set to present his own report, shy of the 7 others. COP Alex Mensah, at the center of this, is talking. We'll bring you more on this as he rubbishes the recommendations of the committee.
Has this report been filed at the main parliament? Has the parliament discussed it? Have they approved that committee's recommendations? We don't need to discuss this. It's a useless thing that is.
Also, latest poll by Global Info Analytics suggests that the 2024 presidential race is tightening following a nationwide tour by the Vice President, Dr. Manu. Bring you details of that, plus rare insect invades some cocoa farms in 3 districts in Eastern region. We have the details for you. Thank you very much for joining us today. Now, chairman of the committee investigating the leaked Dampare tape, Samuel Atachia, is expected to lay his own report in Parliament after the report put together by other members of the committee leaked. Samuel Atachia, who is also MP for Buakwa South, is said to have disowned the leaked report, which circulated on various media platforms last week. The MP, according to sources, denied knowledge about the report, adding that it does not bear his signature. Samuel Atachia reportedly did not agree with the conclusion of the report and the failure by his colleagues to agree to call more witnesses. The chairman of the committee, according to sources, is also preparing his own report and will spell out his reservations in that report. But the security analyst Adam Bona says his actions undermine the work of the committee.
He is incompetent. I mean, professionally, he's incompetent. That's what I have chaired. One of the committees I chaired had to do with the University of Ghana clash, the university students clash. I tell you the banter me and my committee members had. But I needed to sign the report. I agreed. The moment votes are taken and it does not favor me, it doesn't mean that what my colleagues are saying is wrong. It doesn't mean that what my colleagues are saying is wrong. So when I say he's incompetent, he's super incompetent. Maybe I should add that. He's super unimaginably incompetent. That's what I'm saying.
You had our security analyst Adam Bona. Let's go to Parliament and speak with my colleague Komla Kluche, who's joining us live from the House. Komla, what's the latest on this?
Well, there isn't anything. The House is yet to commence sitting for today. Currently ongoing is the voting of the Deputy Minister responsible for trade and industry. But the minority is boycotted this. They are not a part of this. Understandably so, you will recall. One, they are averse to the additional ministers who the president has nominated. And then also they have served notice that they will boycott sittings on Tuesdays and Thursdays. These are days the minority leader appears before court, and so they are not a part of the vetting that's currently ongoing. But as I speak with you, on the order paper listed is the report on the investigations done into the IGP state, not just that one, but there are a host of others, including a report in the Committee of Defense and Interior on the military operation at Ashama. But let me state for emphasis that this has been on the order paper for a couple of weeks now, but the House has not been able to take this. It is suspected that with the huge public interest in this, especially on the back of the fact that it has been leaked, the Speaker will allow it to be laid.
Komla, I want you to hold on because we do know that the retired police officer at the center of the plot to remove the IGP has rubbished the leaked report of the parliamentary committee that investigated him and 3 others. Now, according to the report, COP Alex Mensah retired and 2 other active officers misconducted themselves outside of police duty. The report, which you're just saying, has been laid before the House, also recommends sanctions against the officers. Let's listen to that rebuttal by COP Mensah, and then we'll come to you, Komla.
If they think I've committed a crime, you should send me to court.
According to the committee, you misconducted yourself. You were partisan instead of being neutral.
I misconducted myself, and who has proved it?
Well, the committee here, in the paragraph I read to you, said that your action, together with the 2 superintendents of police and Chief Burginabu, were purely partisan and were unprofessional.
The committee, those people who signed it, they don't know what they are talking about.
That's a very serious thing to do. The clerk of the committee has also signed.
What is serious? I'm telling you, they don't know what they are talking about. They didn't know what they are talking about. It's so surprising.
Would you be
They don't know what they are talking about.
Would you be surprised if the president, Akufo-Addo, decides to act on what the committee is recommending and strips you off?
And this committee, has this report been filed at the main parliament? As the parliament discussed it, have they approved that committee's recommendations? Have they done that?
Well, they are yet to do that.
Have they done that?
They have not, but they are impressing upon
So we
Parliament.
don't need to discuss this. It's a useless thing that is just circulating. It's a leaked report. It's not a report.
92.7.
Well,
Let the report be filed at the main parliament. Let them discuss and come out.
so this
It's
report,
a proper report.
so
And that's where we will talk about it.
as he said, so this
Don't
report,
waste our time on this.
sir, this report is before Parliament officially. Members of Parliament have it, all right? And I doubt that members of Parliament will be holding a fake document and be circulating.
Have they told you that they have it?
Yes,
Have you spoken to the speaker?
I don't need to speak to the speaker to know that
And he
this.
said it has been laid before him. Have they discussed it at the parliament? Has the parliament approved of this report?
And you heard that at COP Alex Mensah. He is one of the senior police officers at the center of this plot to remove the IGP. Komla Klucha is still on the line with us. Briefly, to wrap up our conversation, Komla, did I hear you right saying that this report that the chair, Samuel Atachian, is not accepting, as it were, has been laid before the floor?
I've indicated that the report has not been laid. It's been listed on the order paper, but it has not been laid. And so, yes, it got leaked over the weekend. It got leaked over the weekend, and it's only expected that maybe the speaker would allow the report to be laid, but it's been captured on the order paper.
All right, we'll have to end it here. Thank you very much, Komla Klucha. He's our parliamentary correspondent. And there are some other issues also on the floor of the House that will bring you details of quite later. Now, there is a report coming from the Global Info Analytics, their latest survey, saying that Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is gaining ground in the race for the presidency in an ongoing nationwide tour. The poll shows that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has narrowed the lead of his opponent, John Dramani Mahama, by approximately 3% compared to the previous poll in April 2024. Now, the current poll results indicate that John Dramani Mahama holds the lead with 51.1% support, while Dr. Bawumia has secured 38.2% support. Other candidates, including Alan Kwejo Tremanting, with 5.3% support, Nana Kwame Bediako, Cheddar, popularly known as Cheddar, with 4.6% support, and collectively other candidates with almost 1% support are also in the race. Let me bring you some other details of this report. It says that according to the poll, the majority of voters in Ghana are unhappy with the performance of President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. Specifically, 60% of voters disapprove of his performance, while 35% approve of it. Additionally, 6% of voters did not have an opinion on the matter. Now, regarding the direction of the country, the poll also revealed that 63% of voters believe that Ghana is headed in the wrong direction, while only 27% believe it is headed in the right direction. Now, in terms of voters' perception of their standard of living compared to a year ago, the results showed that 47% of voters believe that their standard of living has worsened. On the other hand, 21% of voters believe that their standard of living has improved, with 27% saying it has not changed and 5% did not have an opinion on this matter. Let me just bring you one last bit of it, and then we'll try and connect to Musa Dankwa, who actually authored this very report. It also says that the poll showed that in the event of a runoff, John Dramani Mahama is on 52%, whilst Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who is currently the vice president of the country and the flag bearer of the governing MPP, would have 42%, and 6% of voters are undecided. And I'll just bring you a last bit of it, which is economy, jobs, and education remain the three most pressing issues that would influence their decision, as in those who were surveyed, with 73% of them saying economy is priority, 69% saying jobs remain a priority for them, and education 50%. We'll bring you some more on this later. Now, the decision by the police in granting bail to a suspect in the murder of two children at Kapayili, a suburb of Tamale in the northern region, has raised a lot of concerns, with many questioning the rationale behind it. The children, both aged 3, are believed to have gone missing since June 22, 2024. Their school uniforms and almost decomposed and dismembered bodies abandoned in a vehicle were discovered at a house belonging to a suspect identified only as Malam Madaha. In less than 24 hours after the suspect identified as Madam Madaha was arrested and he confessed to the offense, he was granted bail, making his whereabouts unknown. Legal practitioner Mam Hesse has questioned the haste with the release of the suspect, considering the gravity of the crime.
It has not even been 48 hours upon the arrest of the certain gentleman. And because the law allows for 48 hours detention, immediately after which the person must be arraigned before court, where prosecution seeks to further remand, or where the police is seeking to further remand the person for further investigations. And the exercise, the police ordinarily can exercise certain degree of discretion, but in this high case of murder, one wonders why the hurry by the police to grant the person bail by themselves, and not even have the court grant the bail than they themselves.
Meanwhile, the families of the murdered children have urged the Inspector General of Police to ensure that the suspect is dealt with in accordance with the laws of the country. We're joined on the line now by security analyst Adib Sani. Good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We do understand that you've been following this case very keenly as well. What do you know about the situation in the area as of today? Hello, Mr. Sani, can you hear us? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Excellent. Thank you very much. So I was saying that we understand that you are following this case very keenly. And we just first off wanted to find out what you found in terms of the current situation in this area.
In Kamali, to be specific.
Where the children were killed, the Caprili.
Oh yes. I picked up information that the said suspect is on bail, and that has incensed people in the area. They're so angry. But before that, his residence was burnt, and I found it very unfortunate because we've helped the suspect. Usually when criminals perpetrate an act to cover their back, they burn.
And so by burning the house, it's tantamount to aiding and abetting, because crucial evidence might have been lost as a result. We have to learn to go by the processes as enshrined in the law when dealing with matters of this nature. I mean, I do understand that passions are high. I do know how it would feel like to lose a loved one, especially a kid. And so it's quite unfortunate, but that notwithstanding, the laws must be applied.
I mean, the fact that he's been granted bail, that's something that you're not the only one concerned about. But also, you just mentioned tampering with evidence. How bad is this damage to his residence, to this whole investigative process?
It's going to affect the investigation in its entirety. It's going to compromise the integrity of the investigation, and crucial evidence is going to be lost. It's quite unfortunate. But that notwithstanding, I still think there's a window of opportunity, and the police would have to explore more options going forward.
I know you've done a bit of criminal law. The man himself confessed to the crime and even added additional information of killing 6 other children. Will that not be enough, even though the physical evidence, as it were, has been tampered with?
Well, it is still, you would have to gather some evidence, because it can go to court. He would speak with his lawyers and they say he did it under duress. He was scared. And nothing you can do about that. Okay, he can rescind all that he said. That is why you need to still build a watertight case against him.
Having made that point as well, how do you think his whereabouts? Right now, people don't know where he is. How do you think that could influence violence in this very community?
I think if they know where he is, they might try to harm him. And so I don't think it is important for anyone to know where he stays. But the police would have to reassure the residents of their commitment to ensuring a robust investigation, and hopefully justice will be served.
Beyond the assurance from the police, what would you recommend?
I would recommend the public education. Parents must be taught how to include their children within the security, frame of things. I mean, they should teach their children what to do and what not to do. When a stranger invites you over into his room, what do you do? I mean, but we don't usually teach the children. We assume they are kids. They don't understand what's going on. But by educating them, we are going to reduce the risk. But at this point in time, I think the police should also reach out to the community.
Ended here. Thank you very much, security analyst Adib Sani. Thank you for speaking to us. Increased numbers of rare insects are invading part of 3 districts of the eastern region, biting cocoa farmers while they work on their farms. The Ghana Health Service is yet to determine the epidemiology of these insects, but has confirmed a rise in malaria cases and skin abrasions among residents in the affected district. Yvonne Nekwe is a woman who is carrying this event for us. She joins us live on the line. Yvonne, can you tell us whether the Ghana Health Service has already initiated investigations into this?
Well, Beatrice, thank you very much. What we do know is that a multi-sectoral team from Noguchi, malaria, elimination program, environmental officers are currently in the affected host districts to really take samples of the insect that look like malaria to determine exactly what it is and why it is increasingly spreading across several communities across the stretch of the district in the eastern region.
And how about the residents who have been affected by this situation? How are they coping?
Well, it's been fear, anxiety, frustration for them. They haven't seen this kind of insect before in the community, especially with the way it is reacting with them. We do know that lots of farms have varied or breeds of insects in the farm, but this particular one seems to be affecting them by biting them, and then a number of them having different kinds of symptoms. They do not know exactly what it is. The health officials are also struggling to determine exactly what the incident is. So this is one kind of frustration for them, especially when a number of them are still in several health facilities across those particular three districts that have been recording this incident.
Let me find out from you. Have you seen anyone who's been affected by this situation and how it looks like, really?
Well, the symptoms as close to what you might say that it is malaria. You have a bit of fever, you're a bit weak, you cannot really do anything. For those who are having the skin infection, it bites you, you want to scratch it a bit, and then you're having a bit of bruises along your skin. So that is how it looks like for those who have been affected by the rare incident we're talking about.
Has there been any official statement probably warning people going to certain areas, from the Ghana Health Service?
Well, I spoke to the regional health public director, Dr. John Echo, in the Eastern region. He says that the team is here to give them feedback as to the samples they are picking, and so he's hoping that by close of Friday, the labs will be able to detect exactly what the insect is, and then they will give official announcements as to what they are saying at health directives.
Thank you so much, Yvonne Nekwe. She's our Eastern Region correspondent, and we'll keep an eye on this and bring you the latest as and when we have it. Now, more than 100 security personnel in the Greater Accra region have been deployed to the streets as gunmen check in Taki Teiko Chru II, with support from the Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council, the Sanitation Ministry, and the Accra Metropolitan Assembly kickstart the Homo cleanup exercise. Now, speaking to the media, the Regional Minister Titus Glover warned that all shops must be closed until after 12 p.m. effective today. He emphasized that the cleanup exercise will not be a one-day wonder, adding that all bylaws of sanitation are going to be strictly enforced without fear or favor.
The much-awaited cleanup homework is beginning in a few minutes' time. Like we all know, Accra is so filthy, in the sense that people come from far and near and come and mess here up. So NIGA, in partnership with the RCC, the Sanitation Ministry, the Local Government Ministry, and Zoom Lion have partnered that today, all the way to the mid of August, as a preparation towards the homework and as a Votufiami, we are going to clean the region. We have divided the region into 6 zones. 6 zones. But this morning and tomorrow, the focus is on AMA operational area. I.e., Bese, Sepe, Mleshi, Akamagbe, Akamaje, Amadou, Bukom, Bolewako.
Titus Glover is a Greater Accra Regional Minister. Now, the Minister of Defence, Dominic Nitiwul, has cautioned the military not to be seen defending political parties before, during and after the December 7 polls. Speaking at the Republic Day lecture, the minister said that the military is the last hope of this country, and the day it loses its professionalism or respect in society, that will be the end of Ghana's democracy.
It is pertinent for the military, regardless of government or political interference, to discharge its duties professionally in the interest of the populace by creating a safe, secure, and conducive environment for national development. I say it with a regret and with a very, very stern face that the military have no business supporting any political party, whether in government, during elections, or after elections. Your job is to stand in the middle and make sure that the people of Ghana have the government they have voted for. Do your work and let the politicians do their politics. Today we have chosen to practice democracy, to say that we'll go to the ballot box. And Ghana is lucky that we are one of the few countries in Africa that cannot predict an election result. You ask why our democracy stays. Yes. If you go into an election, you cannot be sure that this party will win hands down. I will say I'll win, some judge will say he'll win. But it is only on the 8th of December that you know who has won the elections. That is how close Ghana election is. There are some countries that presidents win 83%, 93%, 95%. But Ghana, you'll be very, very lucky to win 51% or 50% plus one in the first round. You'll be very lucky to win like that.
You heard the Defense Minister, Dominic Nitiwu. We stay on democracy because the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, is asking Ghanaians to ensure that Ghana's democratic values are not lost in the upcoming polls. He says that the December polls will serve as another litmus test in guarding the Fourth Republic, which is the country's longest-serving republic. The First, Second and Third Republics suffered abrupt disruptions by constant military coups. Although there have been concerns on some articles in the current constitution, Mr. Bagbin says that dialogue and national consensus have been the most preferred options over the years. Now, speaking at the 30th anniversary forum of the Fourth Republican Parliament in Kumasi, the second Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Andrew Siama, also underscored the need for all to engage on healthy debate ahead of the general election.
As we approach the December 7th elections, let us remember that our diversity is our strength. And as such, we need to engage in healthy debate, respect each other's opinion, and promote peace and unity. Let us respect the electoral process and trust the institution that safeguard our democracy. Let us avoid misinformation and hate speech, and instead promote tolerance and peaceful coexistence. Let us reject divisiveness in politics and indeed elect leaders who will foster peace, justice, and equality. Let us maintain our reputation as a beacon of democracy and peace in Africa. Just a few weeks ago, I participated in the Ghana Praise Prayer session here in Kumasi. The spiritually powered park event took place at the Calvary Charismatic Church in Aija. We joined hands to pray for a free, fair, credible, and peaceful elections.
And you heard the second Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Andrew Asiama. And before we go, some updates on the continent. And Kenyan police have fired tear gas in the capital, Nairobi, to disperse anti-government protests. In the city centre, many businesses have remained closed. Demonstrators have also taken to the streets of other cities, including Mombasa and Kisumu. Human rights groups say since the protest against a controversial finance bill began 2 weeks ago, 39 people have been killed by security forces. President William Ruto has since dropped the proposed tax increases, but the demonstrations have moved into calls for him to resign and anger over police brutality. Cars can be seen burning amid chaotic scenes in Mombasa as protesters clash with police. The clashes in Nairobi have forced magistrates to put off hearings at a court in the city, and that is coming from a report from Daily Nation, which is a major newspaper in Kenya. And that's it for the news here on 3FM. My name is Beatrice Adu. Thank you very much for joining us today. Log on to shrenews.com for more news. Have a good afternoon.
Accra gets busy on this frequency. 92.7 3FM.
Follow us on social media. Twitter at 3FM927. Facebook at 3FM927. And also on 3news.com.
wake up early every weekday because of you to keep you on top of your game. Yeah!
You are at the center of our universe. That's why we make it a duty to serve you only the freshest, hottest news and entertainment. When you want it, where you want it.
Good morning, Ghana, Africa, and the rest of the wonderful world. Welcome to Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Start your day well informed. Start with us on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Catch the all-new Sunrise Morning Show on 3FM 92.7 with me, Johnny Hughes, Helen Apiampofo. Weekdays from 5:55 a.m. to 10 a.m. only on 3FM 92.7.
3FM, your urban lifestyle radio.
Radio Development Show Host of the Year, 2016-2017.
And the winner is John Hughes. Check.
Hi, my name is Johnny Hughes, your community rights advocate, and I'm still on the quest to bring smiles into your communities with Community Connect on 3FM 92.7. Join me this and every Friday morning at 9 a.m. right here on 3FM, and together we will solve the problems bothering your communities.
I know your program is a program that always get a result. Myself, I'm a witness to that.
What can we do to help your community today in terms of education, health, sanitation, security, and all the issues in between from your community's perspective? Tune in to Community Connect every Friday morning at 9 a.m. as we get interactive live on radio and on Twitter at 3FM927 and on Facebook at 3FM 92.7. Community Connect, helping solve your community problems.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to Business Daily. Coming up, secondary bond market experiences significant decline in activity by 99.84% to less than 1 million cedis. We'll tell you why. Also, Economist proposes upward adjustment to government revenue targets to address fiscal deficits.
There should be a second look at the targets that are being set to be able to ensure that at least they get what the country wants.
My name is Manu. Afful will bring you the details of our headlines and many other stories shortly. Thank you so much for your time. We will begin with the Ghanaian secondary bond market, which witnessed a substantial drop in activity, with trading volumes plummeting by over 99% week on week. Analysts attribute the quiet market to ongoing monitoring of restructuring talks following a recent agreement in principle on Eurobond debt. The following 3 Business News Desk report has more.
The secondary bond market has experienced a notable decrease in activity, with only minor trades recorded for the February 2034 and August 2027 bonds. The total exchange volume amounted to less than 1 million cedis, representing a staggering 99.84% fall compared to the previous week's trading volume. This dramatic reduction in market activity, exceeding a 99% decline, signals a cautious approach among investors. Analysts predict that this trend of reduced trading will likely continue as market participants remain observant of the ongoing restructuring discussions, particularly in light of the recent agreement in principle concerning Eurobond debt. The anticipated low activity this week reflects a wait-and-see stance adopted by investors. As they closely monitor the developments in the restructuring talks, market movements are expected to remain subdued. Overall, the market sentiment is cautious, with investors prioritizing information gathering and risk assessment amid the uncertainty surrounding the Eurobond debt restructuring process.
Well, that was a 3 Business News Desk report. In more stories, the cedi has maintained its stability for the most part of last week as the foreign exchange demand eased slightly. After depreciating 0.64% day-to-day and 0.6% day-to-day against the US dollar and the euro on June 25, 2024, the local currency remained stable for the rest of the week's trades. It sold at 15 cedis 90 pesos to $1 at the close of last week. Subsequently, it began the week unchanged yesterday, July 1, 2024. However, the local unit has depreciated by 22.45% against the American greenback since January 1, 2024. Analysts believe that the successful second review of the country's third three-year extended credit facility with the IMF could bolster investor confidence and help tame speculative demand for foreign exchange. They envisage the tranche disbursements will strengthen the central bank's market intervention and help stabilize the local units in the interim. Away from that, economist Professor William Boating is proposing an upward adjustment in the Ghana Revenue Authority's tax targets. He argues that the authority consistently exceeds its set targets, yet the country continues to record fiscal deficit. He spoke at the ongoing quarterly economic forum themed Restoring Macroeconomic Stability, organized by the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research at the University of Ghana.
As far as I know, GRA always meets and exceeds its target. So it means there should be a second look at the targets that are being set to be able to ensure that at least they get what the country wants. And the last one, which Dr. Soa mentioned, exemptions. I know the exemptions to be, if you give exemptions to companies, you expect them to come and set up, operate, expand, employ. Those people are going to also pay taxes and come back. But when you give the exemptions, how are you able to control what they are going to do? You can give me exemptions, and then I try to operate. When I get a profit, I just buy cash. It doesn't go into that. Can Minister of Finance look at the exemption regime and say that even if you want exemption, please pay. Just pay, then come and then give us the reason why we have to give you exemption.
Meanwhile, he has also stressed the need for government to control expenditure to ease fiscal pressures on the economy.
Fiscal is always bad, but the pressure is something that becomes very difficult to contain. How they can contain it is the issue. This calls for prudent expenditure management, not necessarily expenditure cuts, but starting from reducing the weight of government. And in Ghana, government is too heavy on the system. Maybe I can put it this way. Politics is too heavy on the economy. Government takes delight in providing everything. And now what we are having is that government wants to provide everything. When we were growing up in the village, there were self-help kind of activities. Many things the citizens would just organize and do it, our toilets and so on. But now when we go to our villages, they are waiting for government to provide toilets. So government has made it its duty that I can do everything.
That was economist Professor William Boating. Now, despite a tripling of its economy and doubling of per capita income since 2007, Ghana struggles with high poverty and unemployment, according to a UN Development Programme report. Jobless growth is fueled by capital-intensive sectors like resource extraction and technology services. The following 3 Business News Desk report has the details.
Ghana's economy has undergone a remarkable transformation in recent years, tripling in size between 2007 and 2022. Data from the World Bank shows that Ghana's economy boomed, reaching a peak of $79.5 billion in 2021. Per capita income also saw a significant rise, doubling from $1,047 in 2007 to $2,353 by 2022. This impressive growth trajectory was fueled in part by the discovery of oil reserves in 2011, which led to a surge in income. Despite strong economic growth, poverty rates have not fallen as rapidly as expected, and unemployment remains a significant challenge. growth has been concentrated in industries with low labor intensity, such as natural resource extraction and technology-driven services like finance and IT. These sectors create fewer jobs compared to labor-intensive industries like manufacturing or agriculture. The report reveals a worrying decline in the national employment rate, dropping from 68.8% in 2006 to 50% in 2021, although it did not see a slight increase in 2022. Furthermore, a staggering 75% of Ghanaians work in the informal sector, which is characterized by precarious work arrangements and limited social protection. The report finds that a significant 65% of youth aged 15 to 24 are unemployed. The lack of opportunities for young people poses a serious threat to Ghana's long-term development and social stability. It emphasizes the need to promote inclusive economic growth that creates sustainable jobs across all sectors.
And that was a 3 Business News Desk report on Ghana's economic growth, leaving many behind. Well, that brings us to the end of Business Daily here on 3FM 92.7. For more stories, kindly check out our website on 3news.com. My name is Manu. Afful. Do stay tuned. Black Rasta will soon join you for Urban Blend.